Battle, and this is Stefan Kiefer, my client. So Stefan came to me. He's an active basketball player, and he hasn't really had any weightlifting experience. So he decided to go to the gym and start doing some squats just to try and get stronger. He's been doing this for about a month, and he feels like his technique is off and his lower back is a little bit sore when he does these. So what we're going to do today is watch him do the movement, break it down, see what he's doing right and wrong, and go from there. Alright, so for an athlete like Stefan, a squat is a very important exercise because it can improve his lower body strength and help him on the basketball court. So I want to do it properly, so here's going to be my demonstration, and just as a kind of basis to see how things should move and what he should be doing. So I'm just going to stand on the side here and just go with it. Just want to keep a neutral spine, maintain proper posture when you're moving through that movement. Alright, so right now I'm going to have Stefan do a few reps, and I'll just kind of watch and see what he does and pick up what needs to be improved and what's doing very well. Whenever you're ready. Just one more, please. Alright, so I noticed a few things, and I'll go over those as we go along here. But first things first, I think I'm going to take the weight off the bar. I feel like we need to correct his form first, and it's going to be a safer thing for him, and he'll avoid an injury if we do that and kind of proceed from there. Alright, so as I said before, I was going to unload Stefan just because I felt like if he had too much weight on, it was going to pull him too far forward, and he wasn't going to be able to maintain a stable, safe position. So what we've done, we switched to a hockey stick as a prop, and that's just to make sure that when he's positioned there, he doesn't have anything kind of fighting him forward or backwards. So the first thing I noticed when I saw this squat before, I really did like how much stability he had on both of his feet. Like he had an equal dispersion of weight over. He wasn't twisting or turning or anything like that. And just working from the ground up too, I also noticed, this is what I did like, was that his knees kind of went in valgus like this. But I don't think that's a very difficult thing to correct. I think he's a strong guy, and we can figure that out pretty easily. So what I think I'll have you do, I'll just have you do the movement again for me. Just do your squat, please. Alright, yeah, so if you notice there, he caves in a bit like this. So what I want to do to prevent that, ideally we would have a band, but in this situation we don't. So the cue I'd like to give him is just to have his feet apart, and just imagine he's got a newspaper between his feet, and he's trying to pull it apart on the floor. So if you just imagine to do that, Stefan, do you want to just give that a try and see if that improves anything? That was just about instant. I really like that. I feel like he's picked it up right away. So just with a cue like that, it's really simple, and he knows what he's doing now, so just keep imagining that, and I think we'll go from there. Alright, so we just saw that just adjusting his knee position and getting him to pretend he's squeezing the newspaper between his feet really got him to change that valgus and improve, and he's going to be engaging his glute med and glute med now, and that's going to definitely help when he goes back into the squat. Another thing I noticed too was that he's kind of into an anterior tilt almost at his pelvis. So he was complaining about lower back pain, and I think that, I don't know for sure, but that originates possibly in his lumbar extension. So what I'd like to adjust is just have him stand in a good position, feet apart, and then just try and go back and just do what you normally would, and we'll watch this and see if we notice anything. Alright, that's good. So then, yeah, right there you can kind of see he's on the hinge, and he's kind of lifted up like that, and that's going to put the stress on his back. So what I want to be doing here, actually, what you could do is the option, you could have 3 points of contact with the stick, where he just puts it on his back like that. But I think in this case, what I think we'll do is just imagine you're sitting back into a chair, and you're just going straight back. There's going to be no diversion. It's just going to go, you're falling straight back, and that's all it's going to be. And even too, if we had a box here, you could just imagine, or just actually practice sitting onto the box. So just try that and see how it works, and we'll go with that. Awesome, that looks really good actually. So I think too what helps there is that he's going a little bit deeper into his squat. His feet are a good width apart. I wouldn't say we have to make them any wider or any narrower. So just improving that, I think he's going to experience a little bit less stress on his lower back, and now he's in a good position to squat. Alright, so that anterior tilt, I think we corrected it a little bit. So when he's going to do the movements, he just has to keep practicing and making sure that he remembers our cues. So moving up the body here, just noticing some other things. saw when he was doing his squat before, he had his shoulders kind of back like this, almost turned. So that's going to affect his kind of thoracic stability. He's not going to be as strong as squat. So what I want him to do is kind of crank forward and engage his lats and almost pull his scapulas, shoulder blades down to his back pockets. And by doing that, he's going to be a lot more stable on the bar. He's going to be locked. And you're kind of creating that stability through your hips, and you're creating it up top too, so there's less room for him to move throughout the squat, and he's going to be more compact. So I'll just have you do the movement again, just as you normally would. We'll watch. Alright, yeah, so it was pretty noticeable there, but I don't think it's anything that's too difficult to correct. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to grab your elbows if that's all right. Move you forward. And I'm just going to get these two muscles right here to pull down towards your lower back.
Okay.
How does that feel? Do you feel locked in?
Yeah, it feels better, more stable.
Alright, so I'll have you do 2 more squats and we'll watch if anything change. Alright, so yeah, I definitely noticed his back is definitely flatter. I still think we can kind of see an anterior tilt. That just might be how he sits normally, so that might be something I can work on more. But just cranking like this, for sure his back is more flat. He's not going to be as rounded, and he's going to be more stable throughout the squat. Alright, so yeah, there we corrected his shoulder positioning and got to engage his lats more, which I think definitely gave him a flatter back. One thing I did notice too is that his spine, while the lower part was neutral and his thoracic and kind of lumbar regions, his kind of cervical spine, he almost pokes forward with his neck. And the thing is, that if you want a neutral spine, it has to be neutral all the way from the top of your head down. It should be just like you're running an imaginary line straight down the back. So in this case here, I'll get him to do it again. You can notice and you can observe the chin poke, and we'll do something to correct it. Alright, that's good. So just imagine here. So what I've noticed, his head, if you can touch your head here, it's kind of like this. So we want to have him looking almost, there we go, he's more in line. So I think the cue for this is if you feel like the big vertebrae, the bump on your neck there is sticking too far out, you want to make sure it's just kind of neutral and you're not going to be able to feel that. So I'll just have you do that movement again and just go down. That's much better. And again, I don't think we lost anything there from the rest of his squat. He's staying pretty stable. And again, we'll maybe look at his hips a little bit more later, but I would say overall he's improved quite a bit since we started. Alright, so I think we've corrected most of the flaws in his squat. I think we've done what we need to do to make him a safer mover and improve his movement patterns. I also I think he's a good mover to begin with. He's strong. There's just minor things that we need to correct. And once we cued him properly, that was effective. So just going from the bottom to the top, we adjusted his knee position to get him out of valgus, so he's not putting so much stretch on his quads as well as his knees. So we're protecting the structures there. Moved up further, he was having lower back pain, so we adjusted his hip tilt so he's not tilting so far anteriorly. So now he's just got to remember to sit back straight. Imagine he's sitting on a chair. So we need to adjust. We always have a box when we're in the gym. Going up further, so just to kind of take care of the top part of the squat, making sure that his shoulders are cranked through and he's getting enough power and enough movement through his lats, so he's pulling straight down, so he's stable. And just keeping him locked in there, that really improved his spine and the neutralness. And then another thing too, just with his neck position, just trying to keep him sitting farther back so he's not pushing so far forward, because that'll give him some pain. So the cue for that was just to make sure that the bump of the vertebrae on C7, he's not sitting so far forward that you can feel that, he's leaning further back, so that's just, you don't really feel it as much, and the bar is not pushing up against it. So just going through those, I think you're going to improve his neutral spine, he's going to experience less pain, and he'll move better. So just based on what we've done, how do you feel if you're going to gym today to try to do some squats?
Yeah, I feel a lot better. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I'm more confident that I can do squat properly and that I'm not going to hurt myself, and I can start doing some more weight.
Right. And just keeping in mind too that it's in summertime, he's going to be training for basketball season. He does need to get stronger, but now that we have this foundation, we'll eventually add weight. So we'll go over the fit principle as well and just kind of talk about what we want to do as far as that goes. So I think he should be in the gym normally. He's probably in there 5 days a week anyways, doing skills and just doing core and other kind of exercise to get him ready for the season. So just doing the squat as far as that's concerned. He should be in there 3 times a week in addition to his other weightlifting exercises. And he'll be doing it probably 8 to 10 reps for about 3 to 4 sets. And he'll do that once during his exercise. That's in addition to the stuff he's doing with dumbbells, etc., just to prepare himself for the season. But the squat's a very important movement. It's going to improve his power and his stability when he's on the court. So I feel like today we've tackled an important part of his game. And we'll improve his basketball plan as he goes along.